What's up, people?
My name is Dominic.
And I'm Purity Thuku.
And together we are
the Thukus.
Yes, and today we are at
Parents Magazine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So you're most welcome. And ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
with me here is my wonderful, amazing, most loving husband.
Yes. Yours truly.
Yours truly,
Yes.
Mr. Thuku. He's an amazing man. I thank God for that. And let me tell you something about him that most people don't know. He has 2 left feet.
I
don't know what that
two
is.
left legs mean.
It means people who just cannot dance to save their lives.
I used to until
he used to think he was a dancer until he met.
Yes,
yours
killed
truly.
my esteem.
No,
and I forgot
your
all about
dreams.
it.
You know, your dreams are valid. You can learn.
They were
The
until I
good
met
thing
her.
about dancing, you can learn. So if there's that question, you may preempt.
All right.
Yeah.
And now, gentlemen and ladies, to my right. She's always on my right.
Yeah.
She's Purity Mudhoni Thuku.
Yes.
Yes, Miss Wonder. My wife, the mother to my very, very many children. Yeah, she's a wonderful girl. She has always been a girl since I met her.
Wow.
And I love her so much.
Wow.
And it's been a journey. And we are here to discuss that journey.
Yeah.
And I know it's going to be amazing.
Awesome.
Right? Good.
So, question number 1. What's one thing you've always admired about me that you haven't told me before?
Admired about you that I've not told you before.
Yeah.
I think I tell you a lot of things.
Yeah.
And anytime I'm asked something I've not told you before, I have to really think.
I think I'd also be so surprised.
And that's what we are looking for, something to surprise you. I can't find any.
Hamna.
So something that I haven't told you.
The one thing that you always admired about me, but you haven't told me before. Create it.
I am trying to think about it. That might surprise you, and I have admired about you.
Yeah.
Is your ability to sleep at any available
moment.
Oh my with God. No reservation at all.
You admire
it's admirable. Like if you come to, you come. So what could I have done? It's admirable. I have.
You admire that?
Yeah, hata kwa barabara unaweza like saa imefika. It's about time.
Yeah, Sleeping guys. Beauty.
Yeah. So.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's your question.
If you could relive any moment from our relationship, which one would it be and why?
Like leave it out?
Relive.
Oh, relive. Ooh. Gosh, so many. But let me think of one.
In a moment, yes.
A trip we went to Zanzibar. Because it was extremely spontaneous. Like, evening 6, we decided tomorrow 8 we'll be in Zanzibar.
Yeah.
And somehow we really resonated throughout the whole trip.
Yeah.
I think it's the best trip we've ever had in our lives.
Oh.
Yeah. I would relive it over and over.
So the why is the spontaneity of it?
The spontaneity and the cohesion there was between us the whole time.
Awesome.
From the word go, because this was a bad decision, honestly. Financially, time-wise, everything about it was just wrong.
It was out of stress that we just said.
Kesho 8 itatupata Zanzibar. Yeah. And it actually happened. Gosh, that was so much adrenaline, so much fun.
It's literally, if the money you have cannot solve the problem you have, eat it.
Eat it, yeah. And we ate it together.
It was a terrible good decision.
A terrible good decision, but it happened to be the best. Yeah. So, my second question.
Yes.
If you could switch careers with me for a month, how timely? We were just talking about our careers.
Yeah.
If you could switch careers with me for a month, what aspect of my job would you be most excited or nervous about?
Nervous about is the aspect of the job you do.
Okay.
And the aspect of what other people
Which one? There are several.
Okay. She's a branch manager somewhere.
Yeah.
And you have people who are under you.
Yeah.
And their performance is part of
Oh yeah.
You're performing.
Oh yeah. They keep me on my toes.
Now I'll be
always.
nervous about like you are dozing off and I are supposed to be affected.
Yeah.
That's the aspect of I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to have that.
Yeah.
Part.
Yeah. And
so you have to be on their case, and their success is your success. It's very nervous kind of moment.
Oh, it's a nerve-wracking journey.
Yeah.
And excited?
Excited. I think it's events.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you get to attend many weddings without invitation.
Oh my Lord.
That's exciting, right?
Oh yeah, and they are so diverse.
You have planned it, and so you have to attend. You don't need the card.
But at times I wish I was an event planner before my wedding, and I get to see so many ideas that I will never get to use on myself.
Wow.
It's well.
Yeah.
Your question?
Oh, it's mine. What is the hardest thing about dating a broke person? And don't quote me.
Hey, Lord, don't get me started.
No, don't.
I dating a broke guy. Everything about broke is bad. So bad. I used to pay the bills.
You dated one?
Huh? Yeah.
I tell us about it. I think now you have.
Oh, let me tell you about the guy. He's seated right next to me. And man was broke. Oh, guy was broke. All the same.
Yeah. So what is the hardest thing?
The hardest thing is that I could not live my Cinderella dream then.
Yeah.
Any girl would wish to be treated, to be airlifted to wherever, to be... Yani, you want to be the princess, always.
Yeah.
I was the Prince Charming. Princess Charming. I was the Princess Charming.
Why?
Oh yeah. I mean,
I was very
maybe there were pain points then,
yeah.
But now we can talk about them. But deep down, there's always that wish. Or maybe you could see like someone has been proposed to at the top of Hilton, and amedropiwa na chopper, and you were thinking that would be me. That would be me. So that's just the small dark part. All the same, you are amazing.
But you didn't tell them that I was a very wise man. I never let you pay the bill. I'll take your money and pay. I always made sure you did.
Imagine,
yeah.
He was a very wise guy. He would
take
take my money and pay the bills.
Yeah, she never paid the bill.
Imagine.
That's we got to record.
Okay,
yeah.
Wise man. Yeah. My question.
Yeah.
What's the funniest parenting mistake you think we've made with our kids?
Funniest?
Yeah.
Funniest. Can I pass the question? Maybe you have an idea.
To me?
Yeah. Because parenting, we have done it together. And you have better
yeah.
She keep
maybe I can point to one, because it's not at the perpetual.
Yeah.
Like we made the mistake and it's permanent. But there's this time, and because one time Natasha will watch, forgive us. But there's this one time, Natasha used to bully Victor a lot. For those who maybe haven't watched our videos, Natasha is a younger sister to Victor. And they have a 2-year gap. 2 years and some months gap. So Natasha really used to bully Victor. And Natasha is the only girl in our family. So she used to have this feeling of fragile, haezi chapwa. So she really used to bully Victor. And it got so bad that at times we'd go home and find Victor with scratches all over his face.
Yeah.
Or swollen, amegongwa na kitu. So every time we got home, it would be a case. So we at times you knew ukifika tu nyumbani hivi ni vita kwanza. You deal with Natasha before we even get to know how everyone is doing, because the first thing you meet ni a swollen face or a very scratched face. So one time, now this is the mistake. So one time we got home. Na tulikuwa tunajua tu tutapatana na kesi. We knew the first thing would be cases of how he's been beaten, and sure enough, they lived up to it. So he got home, Victor had scratches, he was crying, and we told him, Victor, you Natasha, who's bigger? And he said, me. Sasa tayarisha kofi moja mzuri.
I remember.
Mwekele. Tukamwambia mwekele. So Victor, I've never seen Victor so excited. You know, Paka, he was laughing. He was so excited, you know. Paka alikuwa, you know, anaitayarisha. Paka unaona hiyo mkono mahali italan. And we were okay. We just stood there and watched. Alitayarisha. ile kofi ililandia Natasha. She cried for ages.
Yeah, it was surprising. Even us, we were surprised. I remember
They
that.
cried for it to and okay, well, I don't know whether it's a mistake because Natasha toned
No,
down.
it changed.
She
changed.
stopped
realized that
fighting
this is
Victor.
dealing with a serious guy.
Yeah, but now after that, we had to really take our time to reformat Victor because we knew now he would be fighting Natasha, and he was so excited, you know. Because I remember before that, he used to be really frustrated. I remember one time Natasha slapped him. He went and kicked a bucket. Ilikuwa hapo, so ilikuwa imagine all that anger was meant for Natasha, but he knew he couldn't hit her.
He was always
now this time, it had come.
It was also commendable.
It was
time. Beat a girl.
It was commendable. So now the mistake bit is we had to take time to reformat Victor. To back to you cannot hit a girl.
But it worked.
But by then Natasha had learned her lesson. So it was a good funny mistake. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. So
it's me.
Your question. So does that mean you answer your question?
No, we have that's parenting. I think we have answered the question.
Okay.
She's our record keeper.
Yeah, by all means. Yeah. Okay.
So I asked the question, what is the most challenging aspect of balancing your Christianity and marriage life?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I'm happy to answer this. My marriage life is what it is because of my Christianity. So it's not even a balancing act. One hangs on the other. Our marriage would not have been as blissful were it not for our Christianity.
True.
There's nothing good in human beings. I mean, and if at all there is, it is very short-lived.
True.
Like, there are times we've made, what are they called? Resolutions. Like this year, I want to do this, I want to be that, I have changed. Watu wa pombe ndo ushtakiwa sana wanasema kutoka leo nimeacha pombe baridi. Somehow those things are short-lived, you know. So the same way, even in marriage, there are times we have good resolutions, but they can only go so far. So for over 10 years like over a decade in marriage, it can only be God. So I cannot say it's a balancing act. Like I'm trying to balance between marriage and Christianity, because actually God, one, has a sense of humor. Oh, I love humor, and thank God for giving me a humorous man. I think that's what I should have said instead of your two left feet. My husband is very humorous. So God has a sense of humor. Okay, so there are places you read and actually laugh. Like, God, really? Oh, it does? Yeah. Awesome. And there's also romance in the Bible. There's a whole book on romance in the Bible. God tells us about how to love perfectly. You love me as Christ loved the church, which means sacrificially. I respect you, which I believe and I've come to learn is a man's biggest love language. God tells us what to do. So, were it not for Christianity, our marriage would not be what it is today. True. So I can't really call it a balancing act. Yeah. One rides on the other. Wow. Yeah. Number 4. The church was called out for not adequately helping Kenyans in the ongoing protest. Yeah. What's your take on that?
To each, to his own.
Okay.
I believe the same way even in government there is separation of powers and everyone has their role. I believe the church is the conscience of a nation. And it has its duty. And I think one of the biggest mistakes as a church, we can agree, we were entangled somewhere along with politics, so that we were not there to be able to tell you are doing wrong here, because you're supposed to be that voice, that conscience that speak at the back of our mind, and there's no favoritism, whether it's this side, whether it's the government. So I think that's the only place we were entangled. But I do believe in the civil issues that were happening, because even the people who are in the, maybe some of the people who are advocating for those issues, it doesn't mean that they are not in church, right? Yeah. They are still our shirika who are out there. Yeah. So the church does not mean like we are here and you guys, we are carrying our banner, here we are, this is the PCA church, this is which church. So the church are the people. So I do believe they are the members who are involved in this civil movement. Yeah. But there is also the aspect of even them, they are kept on the line. They toe the line. And because of what the the things they have been taught in church. So church played a very good role, and I do believe the peaceful demonstration and things that were done the right way were because of people who have been taught morals. And a church should be that voice, like they are there to advocate what is right. And even the people who are advocating for their right, they should be able to be advised like you are right, also stops, where you also start infringing on the rights of the other people. And that's the work of a church, to be that conscience and a voice that is also speaking throughout without favoritism.
So you're saying it's not accurate to say that the church did not help Kenyans?
No, you know,
because Kenyans are also in church.
They are in church. And sometimes I don't know how people separate the church and people.
And Kenyans.
Because Kenyans are the people who make the church. Who is the church?
Kenyans.
So I don't know whether they are talking about the clergy, because when you talk about the church, is everyone who is a member of the church. Yes.
I agree. Your question?
Number 4. If you could add one rule to our household that everyone had to follow, what would it be?
If I could add one rule. When mommy is asleep, keep quiet. I don't know why when I fall asleep, everyone is screaming and everyone is chaotic. And just when I sleep. But I see you sleep peacefully.
Also you think?
Oh, you don't?
No, is that aspect?
Because for me, I try to sleep, I can hear everyone.
They feel the other one when they are awake, like this guy is always
I snore.
You know, you cannot know.
Okay.
So when you say mommy is sleeping, everyone should keep quiet. I think it's everyone.
I try to sleep and everyone is noisy all of a sudden.
Okay, maybe you're oversensitive.
So it's like I have to wait for everyone to sleep so that I sleep.
Alright.
So that's the one rule I'd add.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, it was your question. So
mine.
I want to talk about mine.
What's one habit of mine that you initially found annoying, but you now find endearing?
Pushy. I used to find you pushy when
wow.
you do something done.
Oh my God.
Initially. But I have realized, like, the results you have been able to get is the aspect of, like, when you focus on something, you go for it. Even some of the work that you do even online, there are some things you feel like, let's pass. You know, you don't have to take 2 or something like that.
No, take 2.
Yeah, I used to find it like being very pushy. And maybe being so much on people.
Okay.
But I have found that the result, when I sit on the other end of the end result of what you have, I found it to be what gets us results. And maybe that's what help you even the work you do, because you deal with people. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Awesome.
All right. So if you think about God and our marriage, how would you describe our relationship?
When I think about God and our marriage, one, I would say God is at the center of our marriage.
It is God-centered.
It is God-centered.
Okay.
And I love that it is God-centered. Because as you have said, maybe I'm not just pushy, I'm very assertive. Assertive in things, like I am a perfectionist. If I want things done and done in a certain way, I can. And even my focus at work. Now when it mixes with personality, we can really clash. But God puts me back in my place. Like every time I come and I'm talking to my husband, I know that I may want something, but it may not be the final thing. Which, you know, out there, the titles we get, you're the manager, so you decide what is done and it's final. You're the employer, you decide who stays, who goes, you know all that. Now, those ones can work with that personality. But now when it comes to marriage, for us to live harmoniously, it is about the word of God that puts everyone in their place. The same way, there are times you've loved me when I'm not lovable.
Kabisa.
Babe, when it's all gloom.
There are seen times.
There are times you've loved me when I'm not so lovable. It's because of that command by God. Love your wife as Christ loved the church, and it's not conditional.
True.
So I honestly thank God for the idea He had for marriage.
True.
It's God who makes marriage beautiful.
Awesome. Okay.
It's my question. If our love story was made into a Bible story, which actor would you want to play you?
Ah,
Samson.
but I've never been to Gaza. And that guy went to Gaza.
Okay.
So I think I I love the wisdom of Solomon, but not his appetite. But I love Jesus.
Okay.
The way Jesus used to treat people, Jesus was a perfect husband. You know, do you know Jesus was a cook? And every
Wow.
good man should be able to cook, should know how to cook, by the way.
When you say Jesus was a perfect husband, do you mean he had a wife?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay. The church, which was born later.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if you look at the way he even treated people
Yeah.
who were under his care, he used to cook for them. You remember the day they had toiled the whole night?
Yeah.
And then he told them, come, I have prepared
Yeah.
breakfast.
Yeah.
I don't know what other men's excuse is. I think
Yeah.
it's good to be able to cook, right?
To be a good cook.
Yeah. He used to be empathetic, you know, moved.
Yeah.
I sometimes I find men, and now that's how we were brought up. Like a man is supposed to be this tough thing,
Yeah.
and you're not supposed to be so empathetic, not moved. Jesus wept.
Yeah.
You know, men never cry, and they think it's being manly.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus used to be moved by situation, even the situation he could handle. You know, he was going to raise Lazarus, then he see people and he's feeling, wow, the way you guys are feeling, you know, I feel it. I think that empathy, there's so many aspects that if you look at Jesus, we will do the husband duty differently. The aspect of putting yourself in the line.
Washing the disciples' feet.
Servant leadership. He was not bossy, although he knew he had all the authority.
Yeah.
So we have authority in our home, God-given, but it's not to be rolled over. It's not like being bossy, it's just leading by being a servant, serving others, putting himself on the line, anaenda kuomba, then the other guys are sleeping. He's just, you know, he doesn't beat them up.
Yeah.
And the way he used to do it, I think, I admire so much, and I love studying from Christ.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Guys, kwani mko na siafu huko? Sorry. So, it's your question?
Yeah, it's me. What is the most unexpected way parenthood has changed you?
Oh, wow. I've grown to be patient. And I don't know, I don't know how to measure patience, but parenthood really teaches you to be patient. There are some things that maybe I had very little patience. I don't know. Venye amekuwa distracted, iko na issue? Okay. So there are some things maybe I would have very little patience towards. I've realized now with kids and with parenthood and with the experiences, you just grow patience automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So my question.
Yes.
What's the most valuable life lesson you hope our children learn from you?
The most
valuable life lesson.
Life lesson. Loving God, loving their spouses.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the first level of anything you can do down there. Everything else, go for coaching. Yeah, I hope they take that.
Wow.
With that order. Of course, God first. And of course, from God now you can get all the love you need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And you're a good teacher.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you were to write a book about our life together, what would be the title of the most exciting chapter?
Love roller coaster. Love roller coaster.
That would be the most exciting chapter. Tell me about it.
Yes.
I'm just curious.
Yes. The reason I would call it a love roller coaster, it's because, and this is maybe to even demystify some of the things people think out there. A perfect marriage does not mean everything is perfect. There are ups, there are downs. At times there are extremes.
There are ups, there are downs.
Or there are ups. There are downs.
Yeah.
There are extremes. There are seasons. Some are very good, some are very bad. Now, learning to love through it all, for me is a love roller coaster. And I've experienced both, like loving you when I really don't feel like it, and loving you when you're being the best. And that roller coaster also makes life interesting, makes marriage interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. My question?
Yeah, it's yours or mine? Oh,
Mine.
yeah.
How do you feel about our family being in the limelight, and what is your biggest fear in that regard?
I love my family too. I don't want to say to death because one is dying.
Okay.
But I love my family, and
To be.
yeah, and the thought that I've always protected them, and I've always been able to delineate how far someone can get into their life to affect them. And right now they're out there. When it goes out there, there's nothing you can do about it. Someone can say anything they want about. That's the aspect of the cover I've always given them. That to some extent I've lost that. Because now there are people who have allowed him to. When you open that door, everyone now is coming in, and some people, there are every kind of people out there, and that's one of my fears out there. But I've been praying about it, and by the time we started this, because we wanted to start a long time ago, that's one of the things that has always kept me back until I felt like I have prayed enough, and I feel God has given me now that go ahead, that they are safe.
Yeah.
And even the places I cannot be able to reach is going to keep them safe. Yeah.
Awesome.
Right. What's one dream you had when we first got married that you still want to pursue?
Going to America with you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
In fact, you said with me.
With you, of course.
Okay.
Of course. One of the dreams we shared is traveling the world.
Yeah.
And I think the one challenge we haven't surmounted is going to the US. So that's the one dream that hasn't happened yet, and I believe will happen.
No, to relocate or
No, just to visit and come back. East or West home is best.
Good.
Yeah. What is the one trait that I have learned from you? One trait that I have learned from you.
One trait that you have learned from me. If there's one thing I've learned about the things you have learned from me, is that there's nothing you have learned from me.
I even wondering who was supposed to answer that question, but it's okay, babe. Find out what is that one trait.
One trait. Is maybe faith.
Yeah.
You used to fret a lot and fear.
Oh yeah. Ooh,
the unknown. Small things. There's something you are not able to control. It used to freak you out. Yeah. So I think I've grounded you. Though still work in progress.
Yeah.
You like seeing where you can see your things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this aspect of blindly walking to something, except blindly walking into my life thinking I had money.
I knew you didn't have nothing.
But you always, by then you are visionary.
Okay.
So maybe that vision could have been to a one power. That's where faith has come in, and I think that part, and it has worked for us.
Wow, I agree. I was a person who wanted to have everything in place and feel like I have at least control of how far things go. And that's why I had a problem with that roller coaster the first time. When I feel I'm totally out of control. I never used to like that feeling, but also God is a teacher. I've learned that I can do very little. And thanks for that lesson. So,
all right.
Your question?
I have an ask.
Ask.
What is the line that Christian wives should draw between being submissive and standing up for themselves?
Okay. One thing I've learned about marriage, always assume best intent. This is someone you married because you love them. This is someone who is sober. Okay, I'm talking for me. This is someone who has a sober mind. So, the first instance, I should not see malice. I should not read ill intentions. So, with that being the first part, I should not be like I'm fighting you. Like whatever you come, I'm always fighting you, standing up for myself. But there comes times where there is a misunderstanding and you feel like you're losing the I don't want to call it a battle because it's not, but for lack of a better word, it's like you're losing the battle unjustly. And one thing that we are taught as Christian wise is that you can express your position respectfully. Now that's what submission means, whereby I don't agree with what you're saying, but how I put it across to you is respecting you, the person, and also respecting the fact that I don't have the final say. Well, in a very big way, it's not really about us, it's about God. So when it's about my opinion, I would think submission comes in how I refer to you. So when it comes to fighting for me, I think it's about the attitude, really. It's not about what I say. Because I can say the same thing, but with a bad attitude. I can say the same thing, but in an unsubmissive way. I can say the same thing in a respectful way. Yeah.
Wow. All right.
My question. What is the craziest thing you've ever wanted to do but haven't told me about?
Craziest thing. Amade?
Craziest.
Craziest.
What is the craziest thing you've ever wanted to do but haven't told me about?
Maybe going for slide with kids.
But you do.
There are those things. Okay, there are those things kids
Like,
wanafanya,
yeah.
and you feel like you
wish you
like
were one?
you grew up so fast, and then this kid who was stuck in this old man, he just realized like time have just passed by and they have to enjoy. So they enjoy, and you have to be on the lookout for them.
Okay.
But I think growing up sometimes is a scam.
It is.
Yeah, kuna vitu zingine unarealizing yani you want to join the kids.
Yeah, I know.
But you have to.
But you've told me about it severally.
Have I?
Oh, yeah.
You have said something I have not told you.
Yeah. What is the craziest thing you've ever wanted to do but haven't told me about?
God, I think...
You've also told me you want to keep pigs. Something else?
Pigs?
You said you want a ranch. Muskia ranch na ishikanisha na pigs.
No. Pig, ranch is where we have horses.
Oh,
something
okay.
Like that, in the outback out there.
Okay, Karen.
Yeah. Maybe in a nyuki huko.
Karen, tusonge hizi side.
Okay. So what is now umenirudisha somewhere, now you have to make me think.
What you haven't told me.
I haven't told you.
Yeah.
I tell you everything.
I know.
Yeah.
So tuseme tu kuswing na watoto.
And maybe I think sipati yake.
Okay.
Nimekosa.
Aya, kuswing na watoto.
Okay.
If we could relocate, it's me.
It was me. I think.
Oh yeah, it's you.
What is the silliest argument we have had, and how do you think about it now?
What is that? Come again.
Silliest
Silliest
argument we have ever had, and how do you think about it now?
The silliest argument we had was an argument that brought about a misunderstanding. Like,
I thought it was a misunderstanding.
That brought the argument. I don't know which one came first. But you said you would leave me and go to church, and you left. Then I decided, okay, if you have left me, then go. Then you, on the other hand, you went and waited in the car. And you stayed there for almost an hour. Waiting for me, and me, I thought you already left.
Yeah.
Eventually, it really escalated. Like, how can I keep you there? I don't know whether you missed fellowship or what exactly happened. Now me, on the other hand, I was thinking, so you said you're going. I thought you left. Like, what was I supposed to do? So it really escalated. But coming to think, sijui jokes. So coming to think of it, it was a silly argument. But had we not nipped it, inge-escalate for sure.
Yeah.
So next time I think, ungeenda church na ungerudi. Yeah. So my question, your question, mine.
That's that one.
If we could relocate our family anywhere in the world for a year, where would you choose and why?
Dubai.
Why?
Dubai. Yes.
And relocate and stay there through the summer?
As long as we have money.
Okay.
They have not mentioned anything about money.
Okay.
So I'm assuming I'm in Dubai and I'm doing tours every day. I love Dubai.
For a year?
Not for a year. I think
it's for a year. It's too short.
A very short period of time. I would do 5 years.
Oh.
And then take a break for 1 month Kenya, and then go for 10 years.
Oh.
Or something like that. So
Okay.
I think I am into, I'm not into wild. No, me by
Yeah.
there I don't like animals
Nature.
and stuff. Like
Yeah.
me, I don't understand how the same way I see a lion on a book, I go and watch it again.
Yeah.
I have a problem
And
with
watching
nature
birds.
and trees and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm into this modern stuff.
Yeah.
Me, I can watch a house. I can just go and look at engineering,
The architecture.
architecture and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that. That's why I think Dubai, I've gone there very many times yet. I could do it over and over again.
Awesome. At least
Yeah.
on that one, we totally agree.
Yeah.
Your question.
Oh, it's mine. If you could instantly solve one of Kenya's biggest problem, which one would you choose?
Corruption. 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 Any all our monies are being embezzled left, right, center. And I believe Kenya is a very rich country. We have all the natural resources. If they can all be harnessed to just become Kenya's wealth, we would be so far. You look at countries like now Dubai. They have scarce resources like we do, natural resources. But they make magic out of the lack of what they have. They make fountains from the desert.
Yeah.
They make buildings and there's no rock. Like, I don't know how they do it. They make cities in the ocean. They make man-made oceans. Man, and here in Kenya, we have all those things.
Yeah.
But all we are doing is just embezzling funds. Yeah. Yeah.
Kibera and
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Here, mine. What's one thing about our relationship that still surprises you after all these years?
I think the way I'm still a sucker for you.
Wow.
Like years down the line, I
Yeah.
look forward to seeing you.
Wow.
Like spending time with you.
Yeah.
Okay, actually I thought maybe in a diner, and it has become even deeper.
Yeah. And you say it a lot.
Yeah.
And I appreciate.
I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
But I know, of course, with God that you can feel like, hey, it's creasing.
Yeah. Is it cruising or
No, it
decreasing?
creases.
The pressure creases.
The love creases.
Does it?
Yeah.
Does it though? Okay.
Yeah.
It's your question.
Okay. What do you want our fans to pick from us? Do you think we have achieved that so far?
Okay. What I would want our fans to pick from us is that it's all about God. After all is said and done, it's all about God.
Not
And
before all is said and done. After.
After all is said and done. Okay. You know, we do vlogs, we travel, we love on each other. And after all is said and done, back to the basics. It's all about God. But actually, it begins with God, it ends with God.
It even continues with God.
And it continues with God. That if you ever see anything in us and you admire, whatever, including body size, very for real, maybe God has strategies to keep us in shape.
Yeah.
See, he tells us to pray and fast. And then mtu anapambana na intermittent fasting inamlemea. Read the Bible, pray and fast. Some demons only come out by praying and fasting. So hiyo ka waist kana snatch tu, kumbe ulikuwa unaomba. But anyway, let's not lose focus. It's not about the physical, but God has strategies then to just bless us.
Yeah.
Because can you imagine someone looks at how you love your wife, anapenda. Kumbe you have been in a school ya Mungu that you are made to love her, something that was very rare. Actually, God tells you to do what you have least ability to do. Ukiona amekwambia, men, love your wives. It's because most men by nature are selfish. It's about me. Yes. Me. Yes. Women, submit to your husbands. It's because by nature. By the way, one time our best man alituambia hivi, the Bible was translated from, is it Greek?
Yeah.
Greek?
English.
Greek to English.
Yeah, Hebrew, Greek.
Yeah. Hebrew, Greek to English. So unfortunately, kuna meaning imeluziwa, not meaning, but kuna uzito fulani uluziwa huku katikati in translation, such that what a word is said in English is not what it means in the original Greek. Yeah. And he told us that when woman was cast, na akaambiwa your desire will be for your husband, in the original Greek translation, it actually means your desire will be to control your husband. So that is the original setup in a woman. Bebe, come, I can police you around all day, all year, all month. Yani, name it. You know, and I'd want to be in control. And that's why God told you, now you submit to your husband.
Yeah.
So we are told the things we don't really like doing, and the things maybe tumepungukiwa in the grace to do. So when someone looks at someone and says, wow, she's such a humble wife, wow, she submits to her husband, hajui amekuwa shule ngumu. You know, kabla watu usema KU andikwa elimu ni nguvu, hiyo V walikuwa naongeza kakijiti inasema elimu ni ngumu. So the same way pia elimu ya marriage ni ngumu. But now when you see the fruits, they are sweet. When you see a man love his wife in a beautiful way, the fruits are sweet, but the roots were bitter. True?
True.
So again, what was the question? Kumalizie nayo? What would
something our fans should pick from us?
It's all about God. It's all about God. And I hope we have achieved. And if we haven't, we will keep hammering that point.
True.
Yeah.
Awesome.
My question? What is one thing you would want me to improve on?
One thing, timekeeping.
Hey, my Lord.
Timekeeping.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I feel like this class of patience, nimefanya PhD, postdoctoral fellowship, I've been patient, but it's still...
That means we are not yet patient.
I think now...
Otherwise you would not count the doctorate.
No, umekataa graduate. So, umeniweka class. So...
Kaka juu bado haujalan.
Two?
Anyway,
no,
yeah, I agree.
Keep time.
I agree.
I think it's something that you can put in some more.
Yeah,
like,
I'll
the
put
aspect
in
of
some
working
work.
backward. Una feeling like it's gonna 3 hours. 3 hours, but you are not working backward. Yeah, so I think the issue of timekeeping, where do you get?
I'll work on it.
Okay.
Yeah. You are 13.
What's one thing you have always wanted to ask me, but haven't had the courage to?
I ask away, right?
Right now?
No, like on a normal day,
No,
I ask away.
You have always wanted to ask me, but haven't had the courage. I have never seen that in purity with no courage.
I know. And Donashinda, what is one thing I've shied away from asking? Oh Lord. When are you writing me a check of like 999,000? To go to a spa and spoil myself? That's
a question you didn't have the courage to.
Yeah.
When I didn't have anything, you asked for very big things.
Napika, I'm cooking it because honestly, I ask away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hauna any?
Sina.
We are friends.
And hata ikikuja, I'll ask. And my asking means there's nothing I shy away from asking. Even answering this question, like that one thing I shy away from asking. Nikiuliza si nimeuliza.
Yeah.
So which means I don't shy away.
Okay.
I ask anyway.
All right.
So I don't have a question I've held back. Yeah.
Okay.
What is your biggest lesson from our marriage so far?
Life is seasonal. Don't make permanent decision for temporary problems and issues. Yeah. Life is seasonal. We've been up the mountain and down the valley, and that's life. So just survive those moments that you feel you are low, and when you are on top, also thrive, but also remain sober and safe. Because you may require to, what will keep you going, maybe the tough time is the things you corrected during the good times. So see mwage out there.
Yeah.
So I think that aspect of life being seasonal and being steadfast, like have a foundation that will keep you grounded. I think in the book of Matthew, I think chapter 17, 24 to 27, talks about two people who build a house, a wise one and a foolish one. They all build houses. They are all at work. And maybe out there they looked the same.
Yeah.
Until the storm. And the Bible says that there was rain from up, there was wind from the side, and flood from down. Like it's pressure increasing from all sides.
Yeah.
And it came to the two houses. It doesn't matter how you build it. All houses will be tested. Including yule ambaye ameokoka ama anapenda Mungu, mwingine ambaye hapendi Mungu, the one who is wise or foolish, the thing that make the house stand is the foundation.
Mm.
How are you founded? And if that foundation is God, because God is unchanging, then you survive. You can survive very tough times.
Yeah.
So even marriages,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's about the foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll survive the seasons.
The seasons,
with
yeah,
the
they'll
right
come
foundation.
and go, because God's got promised that as long as the earth and heaven exists,
Yeah.
all
Seasons will always be there. Sure.
Yeah.
All right, your question 14.
What do you think is a deal breaker for a marriage?
So far, nothing. So far, nothing. Because even the one thing, maybe any, or rather, not even the one thing, maybe whatever thing it could be, God has removed that potential from you because of the journey we have walked, one with God and two with each other.
Mm.
There's this movie that inaitwa War Room. And it was talking about a lady who was taught how to fight her battles on her knees. And the husband kept wanting to go cheat on her. But when he would get to the, say, hotel room with the girl, he would just fall sick instantly. He has a running stomach. He can't stop for a minute. Hadi asubuhi, when maybe he has to go to work or go back home, and the mission would abort. Mm-hmm. And not just that, God kept fighting for the lady so long as she was on her knees. Mm. And the same way, even the Bible says that in some war, somewhere in the book of, oh Lord, why is it disappearing? But kuna hii war ilipiganwa, na the Bible says that those who died by the Lord throwing hailstones at them were more than those who died by the sword.
The Syrian army, yeah.
Yes. So because God has taught us to fight our battles on our knees, He has taught us to trust Him, and He has taught us to know that He's fighting for us. Mm-hmm. Now I know it is Him who fights for me, not me who fights for myself. So I wouldn't even think of that thing that I would call a deal breaker, because God has already sorted it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nice. This question says, however, I don't agree, but it's directed to you. Mm-hmm. Men are polygamous by nature. Mm-hmm. What do you make of this statement?
True.
Okay.
I'll even add more weight.
Okay.
I think men are sinners by nature.
Okay.
Yeah.
Men, the gender.
Okay, let me pick the gender, but I'm talking about just ordinary all men. And I think that was talking about the gender,
yes,
the male.
Yes.
But any unregenerated person, anything that is ungodly, because the Bible is very clear. The will of God from the beginning, Jesus put it in perspective, was one man, one woman. Although somewhere, because of the hardness of the heart, in the Old Testament, Moses permitted them. They could divorce, they could have many wives. You know, there are those things that used to happen in the Old Testament. But originally, the original plan that Jesus came to reinstate was a one man, one wife. Mm-hmm. And any other plan outside that, it is the unregenerated nature. Like the aspect of someone who is not submitted to Christ. Because I think once you are submitted to Christ, you don't live by the principle of what the world is saying, the cliches, the stereotypes. You live by the word of God. And if Christ has said one man, one woman, then I think once you get born again, you lose that nature, which we are calling by nature polygamous. But I think out there, polygamy is just even the least of the issues. They are fallen, the fallen generation. You can do the worst.
Yeah.
And when you have done the worst, you sit down and try to invent the worstest. Something like that. So I wouldn't judge people out there in the world, because naturally this is the issue. Human being naturally, we love new things. Okay, this suit I'm wearing, look for me 2 years from now, itakuwa maybe mnaosha nayo nyumba ama tulitupa. And I have a new like itakuwa hata hiyo nguo umemalizana nayo. We are always going for the new. Okay? So that's in our nature to get new things. So the only thing that can ground you such that you don't want you had this girl for years, you also want something new. Okay? So unless Christ comes and tell you now on this one you can change everything else, but this one I want you to be grounded on one. It will take Christ to do that. So therefore, it's only natural for someone who is not submitted to Christ to want also new things. And I think that's how people are saying that men are naturally polygamous. Is the aspect of they are not submitted to Christ. Because Christ is one who tells us differently. Otherwise, in nature, we love new things.
True.
Yeah.
So, just curious, there are men who are not born again, but are monogamous. What would you also make out of that statement?
I would say this. You see, one of the things that in our villages, kulikuwa na umbwa zilikuwa zinapata rabies. Ile ugonjwa ya kuchizi. The moment they start portraying the symptoms, they have not beaten anyone. They used to be killed.
Okay.
Because not that they have beaten anyone, but the potential they carry to do the mess. The same way, every sinner, hata ule hajafanya anything, they have the potential. Because this life we control very little. So maybe there are some who are monogamous, but I'm saying the potential, because that aspect is human decision. If the human power, the Bible says the human power hufika mwisho. Kuna time unaweza fika, you get frustrated. Sometimes you are tempted and you didn't want to. There's some who are monogamous, but doesn't mean that hawana watu. Ni venye tu walichukua moja main, then they have a concubine, and then they have mistresses.
No, that one is not monogamous. I mean faithful to their wives.
Faithful.
Yes.
The jury is still out there about that. But all I'm saying is this: they may not be having done that yet. They have the potential to do it. The one that keeps the people who are born again, as long as they remain in Christ. Because even those who are born again, the only condition is they remain in Christ. Remain in me. That's the only time you'll bear fruit. If you get out kidogo, because it's also happening to people who call purportedly that they are born again. So I do believe the aspect is this only Christ who gives that perfection. Yes, and the potential that is out there for even people who are not born again, of being they're not only polygamous, but even worse. They carry that potential like a dog with a rabies. And I hope I'm not saying it captured with vibaya, but that potential they carry it because they are not in charge. They think they are in charge, but in life you come to realize how much you thought you could not do something you could have sown. Watu badilika, unapata mtu ameishi na mtu for people divorced at 70,
80s.
You wonder like, how did you live all those years? Is your twilight years? How are you divorcing? Is the fact that until you end kwa shimo, the potential that is
remains
there
with you.
Yes, it remains with you
Yeah.
until you submit to Christ now, who helps you to now be steady and steadfast.
Sure.
Yeah.
Your question.
Oh, Sidimaliza. What should newlyweds expect from their marriages?
Okay. The number one biggest source of discouragement and disappointment is expectations. And the problem with expectations is because you come with your own. But here, this is a marriage that consists of two. So when you come with expectations, it's like you already have a premeditated journey of how the marriage will be. So number one, drop your expectations. Yes.
Really?
Yes, drop expectations. Because let me tell you, if I come with expectations to this marriage, believe you me, they are about me. I expect this man to do this for me. I expect this marriage to give me this. I expect to enjoy this from my marriage. You understand?
So expectation and standard, are they different? Should we have a standard?
Expectations and standards, they are different. Expectations means I have a list of things that I expect you to tick once you get here.
Or the other person doing them.
The other person doing them, or the marriage fulfilling for me. That's why I'm expecting.
Yeah.
In fact, when you tell people, I want you guys to be expectant, it's because it's something coming to them.
Yes.
So when I come with expectations, means I already have a predetermined result of how I want this marriage to end up for me. Marriage is about what I bring to the table, what you bring to the table. And we have said this severally. Marriage is empty. Empty. There are some people who think once I get married, I'll enjoy all the love in the world. Marriage is empty. It's an empty box. It has nothing in it. So it's what you bring. It's what I bring. Not what I come to draw out of it. Because when I come to draw, I find an empty container. So it's what you bring. It's what I bring. So if there's a newlywed out there who wants to know what to expect, expect to work on that marriage. The same way, you don't expect to go to some bare land and you start harvesting Kama haukupanda, there's nothing to harvest.
True.
So expectations are about harvesting. And this is what I would say. First of all, come ready to put in the work so that eventually you're now drawing from the work you're putting in. So the other thing is that people fear work. Work is good. Work is blessed. In fact, the Bible says, kama hufanyi kazi, usikule. Because can you imagine, you'd sleep all day, sleep all night, unamkanga tu kukula. It's such a valueless life. Yeah. So the same way, even in marriage, the work you put in gives a lot of value to that marriage. Yeah. And you'll find that the things you work for, you value. The things you work for, you value. True. So if you don't value your marriage, you will not work on it. So this newlyweds, I would advise again, come work on your marriage. Come put what you would want to reap from that marriage. Yeah. Because you told us the several the principles about sowing and reaping. Yeah. Number one, you sowing ni gani jamani? So ni kupanda. Those two confuse me because they don't even make sense when it comes to planting and harvesting. What you sow is what you reap. Yes. That's principle number one. What you sow is what you reap. Yes. So if I sow selfishness, I'll reap selfishness from the other party. If I sow disrespect, I'll reap the same. So I come expecting to sow what? The what. So if I sow love into this marriage, I'll reap love. Yes. Number two, you sow, or rather you reap more than you sow. True? You reap more than you sow. Yeah. So I may put in just small thoughtful acts of love. Somewhere, somehow I'll reap so much more. Because it reverberates into eternity. When I do something small, that means so much to the other person. The other thing, you sow where? You reap where you sow. Where you sow. Yeah. But there's a time Christian women walikuwa naambiwa, or rather walikuwa wanashtakiwa to respect their pastors more than their husbands. They do. They were told. They were told that's what they do. So unapata, let's say your husband amekuwa tu kwa nyumba, hata una shughuli, then pasi comes, unaenda kitchen, mayai, unatuma na soda, unafanya nini, mpaka husband anashindwa, ala, what just happened? I thought haukua, or something. So you sow where you reap. No, you reap where you sow. Jesus Christ. You reap. You reap where you sow. Yeah. Okay, you harvest mahali ulipanda. Plant in that marriage as well. Now the last one, after. You reap after you sow. Not before. So don't come with your premeditated expectations. You will reap after you sow. True. Yeah. Amazing. Yep. It's a wrap. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's been nice doing this.
So babe, that was intense. Yeah. And very interesting. Yeah. You have enjoyed?
Allah, this man is my favorite speaker of the word. No, so I enjoy listening those are my to words. I pulled them right from your mouth. I have subscribed to her page. I follow her on Instagram, on Facebook. Inaitangwaje hiyo? You've subscribed.
Na kuna ile kufuata mtu uko chini ya maji, inaitangwaje?
To you stalk me.
Yeah, I stalk this girl. I stalked her since I met her. She's very interesting. Is it? And that was also very interesting. Wow. And she's so much fun to have around.
Yeah, so it was fun doing this actually.
It was, and thank you, Parent Africa.
Yeah,
when we discuss some of these things, also we get to relive the moments. Yeah. And also ignite some things also. Yeah. It makes also appreciate each other. Yeah. More. Yeah, and keep cementing the things we believe about in our marriage. True. Yeah. So thanks, Parents Africa, Parents Magazine, for having us. It's always fun doing this. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think it's good we tell them where they can find us.
Oh yeah, we are the Thukus on YouTube and TikTok. On Instagram, we each have their own account. Yes. It's Dominic Thuku and Purity Thuku. Yes. So you can follow us, you can stalk us, feel free. And also subscribe to the Thukus.
There's so much.
Yeah.
Where this came from. So you can get more of this in our page, in our YouTube page. You subscribe, you share. Yeah. And let's grow together, learn together. It doesn't mean that we are nurses of knowledge. We also learn from each other. We also, some people ask questions and then we get to research. Yeah. And then we also learn in the process. So we have also grown the page. So
Thanks
Tuseme nini?
guys. Bye.
All right, bye guys.
Yeah.